was your intro music, right?
All right. So, hello again, everybody, and welcome to another exciting episode of Tabletop Day live streaming D&D shenanigans. Hooray! So, for those of you just tuning in and having no idea what in the heck is happening, today is International Tabletop Day. It is an amazing, awesome holiday type thing that Geek and Sundry created, uh, where everybody gets together and plays tabletop games. However, a lot of my friends don't live close enough to come play actual tabletop games with me. So, starting last year, and I'm hoping to do this as long as I possibly can, I do a live stream. That's my notification. You'll hear that a lot. I do a live stream Dungeons and Dragons kind of joke campaign. We did one last year. It was an absolute blast. We are doing it again this year, and I have these lovely, amazing people who are going to be actually playing while I DM. So I will actually start on the far left of your screen and have them all introduce themselves. And I'd also like you to introduce your character. And we will start with technically the only character that's returning from last year, which is Tyrion, played by Elias.
Yes. Hello, Alpha Geek Allianceans. My name is Elias Thompson, and yes, I was on the stream last year, and it was a lot of fun. It was also the last time I played D&D, and so I am continuing my character from that game, Tyrion, who is a human fighter. It's more or less the same kind of thing. He's neutral good. He's not your typical average brute type person, but he has some interesting characteristics that I am sure you will see very, very soon.
All right. So the next person, we will just go one to the right, will be the illustrious R2, who is playing the character Zaylee.
Hello, yes, my character is Zaylee. She is a cleric, a human cleric, and she is an undead hunter. She doesn't like zombies. She likes to blow them up. Um, and yeah, that's pretty much her. And I also DM, but I'm playing today, which is kind of a nice change of pace. And
Awesome.
that's
And then, you know what? Just because this is going to get really annoying really quickly, I'm just going to move this over here because it makes more sense that way. Now it looks like I'm actually talking to you guys. Sorry, I talk to myself a lot. So that was our two. Our next illustrious player, another new person this year to the stream, is going to be Cadence, played by it's Ilea.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Hi guys, I'm Ilea, the Green-Eyed Trombonist. I'm going to be playing Cadence Hillhopper, who is a halfling bard. Chaotic good alliance, so that should be really interesting.
Very cool. And then finally, the amazing, the classy, actually a veteran from last year, but decided to play a slightly different character, Don Diego, playing Paragueno.
Yes, I'm Don Diego. I do a little bit of internet content. I have the hashtag Cocktails Podcast, which you guys can find on iTunes or on Podbean. And today I'm playing Paragueno, or Gwaine, as he's known to his friends, a Arakakra arcane trickster. And if you wonder what an Arakakra is, I'm basically a Birdman. Not that Birdman, that's my father.
Birdman.
It's impressive that he's your father.
Yeah,
I've got a lot to live up to.
Classy Don can't really be, you're just traditional everyday Birdman. He's got to be. It's just how it goes, guys.
Yeah, I gotta be a character.
So anyway, um, so to catch people up from last year, a group of adventurers went to Sigil, the City of Doors, an amazing place that you can only get to and leave through a portal. While they were there, they found a man who gave them, if I remember correctly, I may be getting this wrong, so we're going to just retcon anything that I say right now as to being true. Not sure if it actually is. They found a man who gave them a book that they paid them. No, it wasn't that. They found a dude that was going to lead them somewhere. That's what it was. I had like 7 different adventure hooks last year, and I only used one of them. So they
Great.
so they found this man, Richard Rolio, I think was his name, or something like that.
Ricardo.
There we go.
It's a name I
Ricardo.
remember vividly.
Ricardo led them to a portal to get them to unknown adventures and lands. And as they stepped forward, they heard, "Never gonna give you up, never gonna let you down. I don't know the rest of these words, but they sing a lot." And now the entire playback of this will be muted for 30 minutes. And they got sent to the plane of the interwebs. After battling some internet trolls who went down surprisingly quickly, they made it through all the way to the leader of the interwebs, which is Lola. And they were able to defeat her and come back to Sigil, City of Doors. And somebody just said something to me, so I have to pretend. No, we're going to ignore you. Sorry, I do a lot of things and I talk through all of them. It annoys the hell out of most people.
I'm very perturbed.
Okay, so we pick up on our adventures. Tyrion has just finished battling on the plane of the interwebs, and he's kind of wandering around Sigil, trying to kind of get a grasp on his bearings. As
Yes, I'm recovering. I went through a bit of an ordeal.
he did. How'd that make you feel, Tyrion?
Well, I came out of the end of it with experiencing a couple of side effects. I was under a certain influence that made me susceptible to sort of mind control thing, which could have been bad, but ended up turning out all right. And so it took me a couple of days to shake it off, but now I have shaken said effects off and am now searching for someone.
So what you're saying is
I vividly recall.
You're just gonna shake it off.
Shake it off.
And that's Taylor Swift cover band.
The puns get worse from here on in, folks. So as you are wandering around, you notice that there is a bit of an argument going on a little bit further down the road, involving a few people. And just to start getting people rolling, why don't you go ahead and make me a wisdom perception check, Tyrion. The rest of you will be coming, I promise.
I will do this. A wisdom perception check. All right. And just for the sake of clarity, which one of these dice do I roll for that?
Oh, yeah. It's the D20. It's the one that has
Gotcha.
lots of numbers on it.
Yep, and I rolled a 2. All right.
Rolled a 2. Fantastic.
I have 8 wisdom plus 2 perception with the 2 roll. Does that mean 12 or something? Yes?
8 plus 2 equals 12?
But then I rolled a 2.
Yeah, so you have 8 as your perception.
I have a plus 2 next to my perception.
Oh, okay. And you rolled a 2.
Yes.
So that would make 4.
Right, okay. Gotcha. You can tell that the last time I played this game was a year ago.
So
it's safe being in character.
Carry on, GM.
awesome. So yeah, you actually don't notice a large feathered person coming up behind you, looking suspiciously at your coin purse. Paragueno, you've been wandering around Sigil, just kind of, doing your thing. You're not currently, on any sort of adventure or anything. You're just wandering around, and you notice someone that looks kind of green. They haven't been here very long. And and you've noticed that their coin purse is hanging precariously in a place that someone, maybe more dishonest than you, might try and, get it or something like that. So,
So naturally, I would walk up behind this fellow and put an arm around him and go, "Buddy, friend, my name is Paragueno, or as you can call me, Gwaine. I seem to notice you look a little bit lost.
I am
Now,
lost, Wayne.
I too have nothing to do right now, so I figured I should help you. And I'm noticing that you have so much gold on you right now, and I think we should be very wary of maybe dastardly figures around here. So if you were to hand your gold to me, I could protect you from any sort of fiends or thieves."
I feel like I do a fairly good job of protecting myself. So
But of
no,
course,
thank you.
but of course, just amongst friends, I would say two protecting your coins are better than one. And I see we're both on the same, well, not on a path, therefore we're in the same boat, as you would say.
I would agree with you if we were friends, but we just met.
I I meant no offense, sir. I meant no offense whatsoever. Let us start again. My name is Peregrino Ario, or as my friends, and you may call me, Gwaine. I am well, they say the term pirate. I hate the term pirate. I would say I'm a privateer. I'm a man of profit of the seas. And I've just stepped in the sigil to look for a long-lost friend who I can't seem to get out of my mind. But in the meantime, I saw you, and you seem to be a little bit new to the area, and I would not want anything bad to happen to you. So I just offer my guidance, information. I don't even need too many of your coins to hold.
Did you say information? And yeah, okay. So I also happen to be looking for someone. Do you know any maybe older gentleman around here by the name of Ricardo?
Ricardo? That's a name that I might know, but I seem to associate his face with gold, and I can't. I think I could trigger maybe that memory if I were to see gold.
It's funny you should bring that up because this man cheated me out of some gold. So if I were to say, in theory, run into another individual who also intended to cheat me out of gold, I wouldn't be too happy with them either, friend.
as this conversation is going on, I'd like you both to go ahead and roll another perception check for me.
Okay.
Is Elias still rolling really well?
Yeah, I rolled a 3 this time, so 5.
Man, you roll like me.
I do, and I seem to remember this happening to me last year.
An 18. See, plus my bonus. Perception on here. Plus 6 on, so that makes it 24 perception.
So you know everything. You actually can hear that a little bit further away. You can see that it looks like there is a bit of an argument going on with a group of people. And in the middle of the group, you can see two figures, well, kind of 1.5 figures, kind of arguing. One of them is just kind of screaming and and just really berating the other one, which you, with your 24 perception check, you notice is a halfling, very kind of flamboyantly dressed, very, very confident. And the halfling is actually sitting there, and you're starting to hear, pieces of the conversation, and it sounds like it's revolving around payment for some sort of performance. And the larger gentleman is just basically screaming at the halfling, going, "Well, I can't believe this! You said that you were this world-renowned, amazing vocalist, and this is just probably the worst thing I've ever seen. How can you expect me to pay for a performance like that?" And she responds with,
I don't know what the heck you're talking about. That was the most amazing thing ever. Did you hear my voice? I was on point.
"Your voice? Can you even call that? It was just horrible. There was no tone. I have half of my patrons here are considering rioting because of it. I mean, how in the world can you can you live with yourself after putting people through something like that?
May I nudge Tyre? Sorry, I was going to say, I'll nudge Tyree and say, now look here. Here's an example when I can show you my character. I will go and intervene on the behalf of that halfling. And I walk over. Keep going.
And
I'm
so
watching.
they continue they continue arguing and debating about this, and it doesn't look Cadence. Why don't you go ahead and give me a charisma persuasion check?
21.
20. Damn. So as you continue to defend, well, go ahead and defend your performing abilities.
I don't know what you're hearing. Do you have beeswax in your ears? I mean, it was a very good performance. I think everyone loved it.
And as you say this, you start kind of, looking to the crowd and kind of egging them on, and a few members of the crowd are actually sitting there going, "Yeah, she's right. Like it wasn't that bad. She's not like the worst singer in the world. Yeah, man, you're giving her a hard time. Why wouldn't you pay?" And the crowd is turning. To the point where now it's kind of half and half, with people going, I can't believe you subjected us to such torture. The other half going, you're such a cheapskate. You went and hired this person. Now you're not willing to pay him. And it's starting to get a little bit almost to the point of violence here, where people are just starting to yell at each other, and it looks like something bad may be about to happen.
And I will kind of stand up and kind of tower over everybody and say, listen, one and all, what we have here is a case of a poor halfling who sings the most beautiful tunes in the world and being berated by a monster. I say, a monster. Are we going to allow that to happen? Are we going to allow this to happen with any sort of reparations, with any sort of penalty for this brute? I say we make him pay her for that grand performance. And I will take a small gift just to make sure he's honest.
Go ahead and roll a charisma persuasion check.
Okay.
You are basically becoming the hype man for everybody.
Well, you gave me so much charisma, and he's a trickster, so I'm like, why not, right?
Birdman hype?
So you said charisma.
Yes.
My roll was 16, but I'm trying to +1, so 17.
All right, so you actually are like the crowd is kind of rallying behind Cadence, and now Peregrino's over there, and he's rallying them up, and the owner of this tavern is starting to realize, I may have bitten off more than I can chew here. So he starts to kind of, just compose himself. He's like, all right, I guess, since we did have sort of an agreement, I guess we can, maybe I can give you 5 silver pieces for the performance.
I'm still watching all this.
What say you, Cadence?
Our agreement was for 3 gold pieces.
Well, obviously, with everything that has been going on here, and while this conversation is going on, Zaylee, to kind of pan the camera, do a jump cut. Zaylee, you've actually been wandering through Sigil, specifically because you were sent here by your church under reports that there had been some necromancers doing some quite unsavory things, which isn't the most bizarre thing to happen in Sigil, but those necromancers had been coming to your home plane of existence and world, and had been setting these undead loose to cause ruckus. So you've kind of been sent to Sigil to try and figure out what's been going on. And as you're wandering, go ahead and make me a wisdom perception check.
Okay. I rolled pretty good. I got a 25.
25. Well, that's very, very good. So as you come over, uh, you not only do you see everything that's happening here, you you can hear their heartbeats with that. Um, you come over and you can see that the audience the audience has kind of turned and it's starting to look like it might get a little bit violent with what's happening, especially after he offered that incredibly paltry sum. Uh, and so you see all this happening, and what would you like to do?
Okay. Um, Assessing the situation, I'm going to. Is there a pretty large crowd, you would say?
20, 30 people. Sigil is it's a very big city, but it's a very populated city. So for the area that you're in, like you filled up a nice kind of square with all these people arguing outside this tavern.
Okay. So I'm going to walk in the middle of them and basically say, "There's nothing to see here. There's nothing to see here. Go about your business. We don't need a big crowd. This isn't a show." So I'm going to try to disperse the crowd and basically get everybody to go about their business. This is nothing to see here.
Okay.
Uh, this isn't
Um,
involving any of you.
I'll let you choose. You can choose charisma persuasion or charisma intimidation, depending on how you want to play this off.
Um, I am intimidating as hell, so I'm going to do that.
Awesome.
Ah, I rolled a 17.
Wow. So as you step forward, you kind of brandish your holy symbol, not in like not in like an attacking type manner, but just kind of as a casual look, holy symbol, holy person, very powerful holy person, and you come through like nothing to see here, and probably about half of the crowd after seeing someone with a little bit of, you also kind of flex your divine might a little bit, give yourself a little bit of a holy glow as you command these people to move. You notice about half the crowd just like, oh, did you hear that over that way? That's not over here, and start wandering off. Um, so now it's basically just the few people that actually have business in the tavern and are waiting to be able to get back in, and Cadence and Paragueno, and a little further off you can see this dude with a sword and shield just looking kind of puzzled at the entire interaction. So going back to Cadence and Paragueno after Zaylee comes in, um, the tavern keeper goes, "Fine, fine, fine. I can see that obviously this means more to you than it does to me. So, due to the fact that your performance was cut short, I can pay you 2 gold pieces because I didn't get the full performance. And obviously, it is kind of into some of my business having to deal with this matter here in public."
Okay. I heard that, and I've pretty much just been told that.
Finally.
So while you say that, I'm just like, all right, this needs to. So I just walk up to the tavern person as he's saying that, put my hand on his shoulder as he ends a sentence. I say, friend, you told this woman you would pay her 3 gold pieces, as I recall. Pay her the 3 gold pieces.
Go ahead and roll me an intimidation check.
I'll try.
Maybe it's just perception. Maybe you're better at intimidation.
Let's see. Intimidation. All right. That's the 20, right?
Yep.
Mhm.
Oh my. Natural 20. That's good, right?
Wow. Yes, that's very good.
Okay.
So
Yes.
as you kind of saunter over, he doesn't notice you coming up behind him until he feels this very heavy armored hand just kind of slam on his shoulder, and you use a little bit more force than may have been absolutely necessary. So he kind of buckles a little bit under the weight of your hand going down, and as he comes back, or he kind of shakes it off, and he looks over at you, and you just have this kind of 1,000-yard stare that's going straight through him. And so he kind of turns to you. He's like, yeah, yeah, that sounds like a good idea here. And he takes out a coin purse with exactly 3 gold in it, kind of tosses it in Cadence's direction, and then kind of tries to get back in the tavern before people start seeing a dampness around his pants area.
Well played, my friend. Now do you doubt the merit of my character?
I do not. And if there's another thing I can't stand, it's people being cheated out of their money.
I wonder
Speaking
why.
of that, I believe.
So I'm looking at this gold purse now, and I look up at those around me. Who wants a beer?
I will take one. I have had a week.
I am gladly joining if you have me.
I am quite thirsty.
All right,
Agreed.
so
Okay.
you guys are outside of this tavern
Let's
that
go get beer.
you've recently had an altercation with the owner. But there are many taverns in Sigil. Where would you like to go? Would you like to just head back into the place you just were, or?
I'd probably recommend another nearby tavern just to not deal with that dude again.
Well, but that's less fun.
Just my opinion. I'm open to anything you guys want to do. I just am here for the free beer.
There's a tavern I think I saw on the way in. We could go to that. It's quite large.
What say you, non-pirate?
I hear only good things of that tavern you speak of, whose name is eluding me until I believe I see some beer at my hand. So we will choose that tavern that you speak of.
Wait, what is the name of that tavern? I need to make sure I haven't been kicked out of it yet.
It's called the Prancing Pony.
Ah, yes. I've never heard.
I think we'll fit in. I think we'll fit in.
Yes. I think you shall.
All right. So, you all start kind of wandering over to this tavern. It takes you about 20-30 minutes to get there because it's kind of midday, and Sigil itself is a little bit busy. You can see that you guys do notice that the traffic in Sigil seems higher than average, but people are just kind of rushing around. You haven't really been able to figure out what's going on, other than obviously something's going on in the city because people are traveling and moving a lot in it. You guys finally make it into the tavern proper, and are able to sit down and start getting your drinks and everything, and finally have the chance to introduce yourselves to each other. Which is normally what you do when you sit down to free beer bought by somebody else.
Thank you, madam, for the free drink. Tell me what your name was again.
Cadence.
Cadence. Well, thank you, Cadence. Drinks.
Yes, and I think you also, Cadence, you will know very, very much so how much I care for free drinks and all free materials. I'm quite a fan.
I appreciate the beverage. My name is Zaylee, and I just came a few days ago to this place.
I too am new to the area, friend.
Ish.
And
What brings you all here?
Well, I myself am looking for a man who happened to cheat me out of some money mere days ago. He disappeared, and now I'm trying to track his whereabouts.
And I was just going to tell our good friend here about this man, for as a I hate this dirty word they use, thief. I'd like to think of it as just a borrower of sorts. This Ricardo fellow is a little bit infamous amongst our crew.
Very well. What can you tell me about him?
Well, if this is the same Ricardo we speak of, with that very dark hair, brownish skin, speaks a little bit pompously, I believe, then
Sounds
he's
right.
yes. Well, this gentleman used to be a noble borrower of sorts for a while. In fact, he was a compadre of mine in a mission. I think our clerical friend would know what I mean. We do missions of our sorts, us borrowers. Um, but very quickly he became what is the term, backstabber, and he started to cheat out even other borrowers. So I've been looking for him as well because he owes me a debt, and I'm very peculiar about my money.
I see. Would seem that our interests align.
Cadence, go ahead and roll me an intelligence history check. As you're listening to this, it starts to sound a little bit familiar, this Ricardo gentleman from the description and everything. What did you get?
11.
11. Good enough. You're actually able to remember that one of the taverns you were actually kicked out of, you didn't actually deserve to be kicked out of. This one specifically, this Ricardo gentleman actually had quote unquote hired you to perform there. You found out later that not only did he not work at this tavern, nobody actually liked him there. And so he never paid you, and then convinced the tavern owner that you were actually an acquaintance of him, and so you got banned by association and were unable to work in this particular tavern anymore. So you got a little bit of history with this Ricardo gent.
Ricardo, I know that bastard. He got me kicked out of this one pub. He hired me, and then he never paid me, and then I was banned for no reason.
Well then, it seems like Ricardo has wronged most of us. What of you, Zaylee?
This is your first trip to Sigil, Zaylee, so you never met the
Okay.
dude.
I don't recall him. I've only been here since yesterday, so I am unfamiliar with this less than a tasteful gentleman. But if you need help finding him, I don't mind lending my services.
Well, consider yourself lucky that you have yet to run into him. I
Uh,
have only been here days myself, and it did not take very long for me to fall victim to his wiles.
I'm quite sure he'll meet the not so blunt end of my mace.
That's direct.
Nice guy. So, as you guys are kind of conversing about this and talking about this, you hear someone from behind you say, "Wait a minute, Ricardo?" And then you hear him spit, and he goes, "That lowlife son of a," and starts saying things that I won't repeat on stream, just due to the fact that I like to keep this as friendly as physically possible. Um, After going on for about 10 minutes of words that you can't repeat in mixed company, he goes, "I cannot believe that guy has not been caught. He's the biggest pain in the ass I've ever had to deal with. If someone would just go over and just beat the snot out of him, I would have to pay them for a service to the city." And as he
in
says
this
that,
moment,
another person kind of jumps up and goes, Ricardo, that son of another string of expletives that nobody wants to repeat. And he goes, he sold me this fine quality sword. And as he pulls out this sword, you notice that the blade has broken, and it's just about useless. And he goes, if somebody knows where that and then another person jumps up and goes, Ricardo, he sold me this miracle cure. And she takes out this incredibly just disgusting looking vial. And as she uncorks it, the entire room starts to smell of mildew and mold and rotting items. And she goes,
Cork that thing.
this was supposed to give me the voice of a siren, and yet all I sound like, and she tries to sing, and all that comes out is just this horrible.
Sorry, what was that? What was it?
Was it?
I'd like to keep the remainder of my vocal cords. So you now have this entire tavern just kind of riled up about this, and kind of complaining, and throughout all of the commotion, Peregrino, go ahead and give me a perception check.
Okay. Natural 1. So plus my 1 is 2.
So as you're sitting here and talking with everyone, you don't notice a small child kind of walk past you and leave a note actually in your belt. And as the conversation keeps going on, you suddenly notice that in your belt is this note that you have no idea where it came from. And on the note it says, "I know where he is. Meet me out back."
Friends, I've just discovered somehow, I do not know how it got past me, that there's a note here, and it says that we might have someone with information as to our dastardly friend. Would you care to join me for?
Yes, I would. Where should we go?
They say meet them out back. I'm obviously more than willing to accept.
I'm already on my way to the back.
Wait. Is he gone, or do we have to run up after him?
He's already heading out back. The rest of the tavern has actually started ignoring you guys as they all share stories of the things that Ricardo has done. You guys hear some pretty epic tales. Like apparently he sold beachfront property in Sigil that no one can find, and
he has a timeshare.
Did I just? Are you gonna live, Tyrion?
Yeah, I'm just still walking hastily towards the back.
So, do the rest of you guys follow?
I am going to the opposite direction of which he traveled.
Okay.
Go the opposite direction, so then that way I can cover both sides.
Aha. Okay.
I have my mace in my hand, just in case. But I'm gonna go kind of slow, so he gets there before me.
All right. What about Cadence and Peregrino?
Since he's kind of my buddy.
Okay. And Cadence?
I'm looking longingly at my beer and then back up to where they're going and back down at my beer. And I sigh and I slowly start to follow.
Okay. So, after you all get out, go ahead and just give me perception checks for everybody. Everybody perceptioning.
See, I messed up last time. I realized I had a +6 of perception, not +1, but I rolled an 18 this time, so that's 24.
Yeah, I was about to say, well, even with a 6, a 7 was not going to quite do it.
Yeah.
Cadence, you look upset.
Yeah, 7.
7. Excellent. And Zaylee?
16.
16. Okay. So, Cadence is still thinking about her beer. The
That's
rest of
such a
you,
good
when you get
deal.
out to this alley behind the tavern, notice other than some empty casks and some boxes and crates and stuff like that. There's really not a whole lot out here, but you do notice, kind of hiding behind one of the taller stacks of crates, is this young child. Dark hair, darker skin, just kind of waiting and looking waiting for someone. So what do you do?
Well, considering he gave you the note, I'll walk up with the note and go, "Did you by chance put this on my person?"
And he looks at you and he looks away, and he looks at you again and he looks away, and he goes, "Jess."
Do you know of this man that we are looking for? Or are you merely a messenger?
Ricardo is my father, and he is not a bad man. He does all of these things to try and provide for his 27 children.
Ah, crap.
What? Well, we need to see your father. We're not going to hurt him. Can I do a deception roll?
Go ahead. Go into a deception roll.
So it's 13 plus my 6 for deception, and the 4 for deception, so 17.
All right. So he believes you wholeheartedly. Surprisingly enough, children are not the most difficult people to lie to. And now I lose all of my followers. So he turns. He's like, "Oh, please, I do not want my father to get in trouble, but he has to stop. He has to stop being this mean man. He needs."
And we can stop him. And we can stop him. We can show him the error of his ways and make his life go in a new direction.
Young lad, may I ask, why did you give my friend here the note in the first place?
Because. And he kind of turns away really fast and then turns back and goes, "It is embarrassing that my father acts in this manner. He should be a good provider for his 27 children with 17 different mothers. But he simply but he simply is always doing these schemes, and we never get a chance to see him and or see any of the money he makes from these schemes. But he keeps telling me it's to provide for his children. He must be stopped so he can come home. Let me see my father again."
Well, if you can tell us where you think he might be and where your home is, then we can do our best to get him to stop and get him to come home.
"Okay." He turns away again. Turns back. "Okay." And turns away again. And turns back. "I will tell you." And turns away again. And turns back. "My father is under the bridge."
Oh, wait, what? Under the bridge? What?
Yeah, that makes sense.
And then he goes into a slightly longer explanation where he tells you guys that in Sigil, in one of the shadier parts of town, there is there's this bridge that goes over a kind of multi-level living space, and underneath there, behind a hidden door, is the kind of hideaway where he goes between, anytime he needs to lay low. "So," and he turns to you again, turns away, turns to you again, and goes, "So, will you help us?" Single tear.
We will help you. We will help you, young lad. First, let me confer with my compadres, and we will be back in un momento.
Okay.
And so I turn back to the party. I go, okay, we know where this guy is, but we can't just walk up on him all at the same time. 3 of us have bad dealings with him. This is not going to work out. He'll run immediately. cleric, we need you to lead this expedition. You need to be the first one to talk to him.
Very well. I can do that.
Cadence and I will hide in the shadows if need be, and well, Tyrion, you'd see him from a mile away, so just shout, and I think he should then run from around the corner if it comes to
I
that.
will be nearby.
Agreed?
Sure. I mean, if you shout, wouldn't he hear you and then...
He will not get away.
I could just signal you with some kind of gesture, so then
Even
that
better.
way you could, sneak up on him.
What gesture? What should I look for?
I will... I have my holy symbol. I will touch my holy symbol.
Yeah, okay.
That didn't sound dirty at all.
I will look for you to touch your holy symbol, and I shall come storming in upon seeing that signal. Got
Words
it.
are hard.
All right. So after hatching this dastardly plan involving symbol touching, you guys get to the place, and you actually can see that the door itself is actually slightly ajar, meaning that either someone has recently come in or someone has recently left. So why don't everybody give me another string of perception checks?
19 plus 20. No.
19 plus 20. You do not have a plus 20 perception.
Let me say that again. 19 plus 2 is 21.
Gotcha. Anybody else?
I'm 16.
I'm a 25.
Okay. All right.
So 16 plus 6, 22.
Okay. So, you actually all notice that it looks like Ricardo has literally just gotten there from doing something dishonest, probably. And you have a fairly limited amount of time before he will probably leave. Again, it doesn't look like he's going to be there for very long. So, Zaylee, do you, I guess, start your plan?
Yeah.
All right. So as you walk over, go ahead and roll me a charisma performance check. We're gonna see how good you are at making yourself look like an easy mark.
Works for me as I drop my d20. DM problems. What happened to it? Who knows?
Let's just think of a number between 1 and 20.
Right? I'm just gonna wait. I have another one. I have so many. Alright, there you go. I got a 19 plus performance is a 3, so that's like what, 22?
Yeah. So you come over, basically just with that wide-eyed wonder of, it's my first time in Sigil. Boy, gee golly, I hope that nobody takes advantage of me. And as you come over, you immediately see that Ricardo Cat picks up on that immediately, because that's what he does. He looks for marks, and he comes over and he goes, "Oh, fine cleric. I see that you are using a subpar holy symbol. I happen to be a purveyor of quality holy symbols and holy symbol replacements, as well as holy enhancement poultices. So I would be very much happy to get you something to replace that worn symbol."
Thank you, my son. I appreciate you.
Wow, I didn't know we were that close already. So, and he kind of wanders back into his little hole in the wall, comes out, and he's got all of these different holy symbols for a bunch of different deities, and that you haven't heard of half of these. Um, and he suddenly, after, like, because this is just a massive case, as he's digging through it, he actually goes out and finds like 3 or 4 different holy symbols for what is your deity?
Um, oh, well, technically, it's a loaded question. I don't really have a baby. I guess the closest one is the who's the one for healing? Uh,
Technically,
oh,
quite a few, depending on which pantheon you're thinking of.
um,
You go
one
Sune?
of the why not? We'll do
Okay,
that.
cool. Like anyone is going to. Sune, it's a Forgotten
That's a
Realms
good
thingy.
question.
She has a cool symbol. So he pulls out a couple
Yes.
different symbols of Sune. One of them that has kind of gold filigree all over it and just really, really nice. One of them that actually glows. Uh, Thank you, Avalon. Uh, one of them that actually glows with you can't tell what it is, but through your own divine sense, you know that it's not like a divine glow or anything like that. But obviously, something is making this produce light. Uh, and then a third one that actually you can tell that the edges of the symbol are actually sharp and it's very aerodynamic. Um, and Ricardo starts showing them off. Well, I have these amazing, wonderful different things, but I think the one that you will be most impressed with is this one right here. And he takes the one that's really sharp. He's like, not only is this an amazing holy symbol, but it works as a boomerang as well. So you can throw it, and wow, look, it always comes back. And he tries, he kind of haphazardly throws it. Go ahead and make me another perception check.
20.
All right. So as he throws it, you notice, very, very difficult to see, but you notice a thin, clear string uh, on the thing. And so he throws it, and it kind of whips around and comes right back to his hand, obviously being manipulated by that string. He's like, see? So not only will this let you, show your god your devotion to her, but nifty party trick as well.
Interesting. I think I've seen enough, and so I pick up my holy symbol, and
All right.
I look at it, and I make it glow.
All right.
But I don't think you have anyone holy symbol that does this.
All right.
Oh,
So
I do.
I
And
see, I see the touching of the symbol, and that's what I've been waiting for. So I just barge right in,
okay, you're not even attempting
and
to conceal your
no, that was my signal, and I've been waiting to
and you're
talk to
just
this
running
guy. So
in.
I just am barging in and then being like, all right.
All right. Avalon has just said D&D with handsome men, a pretty woman, and the hippest plushie I've ever seen. What's not to like? All right. So, uh, what ends up happening is as he's coming in, Cadence and Paraguano, are you guys gonna wait? Are you guys gonna?
I can't deny that I'm just gonna be like kind of ruffling, or like since he's gonna come in and everybody's gonna be focusing on the scene, I'll follow suit, but then I'll go off to the side and just start looking at the trinkets and like slowly putting some in my bag. Just don't mind me, guys. I'm just looking at all this stuff.
All right, and then Cadence. What about you? Do you come same direction as Tyrion, or from another direction?
I want to sneak over from another direction.
Okay, go ahead and roll me a dexterity stealth check.
17.
17, gotcha. And then Paraguano, I'm gonna have you roll a sleight of hand, dexterity sleight of hand.
Okay. So, shoot. 2 on the roll.
So as you
Sleight of
sit
hand is
there,
+6, so 8.
so as you sit there trying to pocket some of these, Ricardo goes, wait a minute, you have not paid for. Wait a minute, I think I know you. And then he sees Tyrion. He's like, and I know you, and starts to run away. And actually runs right into Cadence and goes, and wow, it's been so long. You look fantastic. like are you doing something different with your hair? And as he says that, he actually tries to kind of dodge around you, and I can't actually roll. Let's try it again. And rolls rather poorly. Go ahead, Cadence and Tyrion. You guys can make either a dexterity or uh, strength athletics check to try and stop him from getting away.
I can cast hold person if that would like be beneficial.
If you would like to, you can do that as well.
I will do that. I will cast hold person.
And
All
I'm
right.
gonna roll for strength athletics, unless that's not necessary anymore.
Technically, it's not. He is held, but you can still do it.
All right, I'm gonna roll anyway. 4 plus 6 is 10.
Which dex skill were we rolling for?
Just straight up dexterity without any modifiers. So just straight up dexterity.
So I got 20.
20. So, as he starts to turn away and go, Zaylee clutches her holy symbol and it flares with holy light again. And then you kind of see, just out of kind of nowhere, these 3 rings come and just kind of bind Ricardo. And then as that's happening, completely oblivious to the fact that this is happening, Tyrion just goes and gets him in kind of like a bear hug. And then he accidentally, as you've got him in this big old bear hug type thing, he trips, which trips you. And so Cadence actually, as she's trying to kind of finagle her way around, realizes that they're both tripping and does this really cool backflip out of the way. Tyrion, I'd like you to go ahead and roll me a dexterity saving throw.
Dexterity saving throw. 15.
15. All right, so as you start to trip, you realize that he is falling as well, and you let him go, and you actually push off him a little bit to kind of steady yourself. He hits the ground hard. It knocks the wind out of him. He's like, ooh! And it takes him a little bit to kind of recover from the incident. So he kind of is looking at you all, and he's like, oh, look, it is all my friends. I am so happy to see all of you because you are wonderful people who are very kind and forgiving. And have I told you about my 27 children?
No, you haven't, but we've met one of them.
Oh, which one?
Come to think of it, didn't actually get his name, or I don't remember it.
I guess it doesn't matter.
Anyone
I don't
else?
know their names either.
These things are not of importance right now. I would like you to understand that you and I had a deal a while ago. Do you remember this?
You know, it's so hard to think with bans, holy bans that are preventing me from moving. Do you know, if you were to maybe take the bans off, I might be able to remember more.
I make them tighter.
Yeah, or you could do that. Wonderful ability to fix my memory. I wasn't planning on breathing anytime soon anyway.
Yes. Well, in the meantime, you owe me a debt. You owe the big one a debt. You owe the little one a debt, and you probably were going to owe a debt to the cleric.
Actually, he doesn't owe me a debt monetarily. He actually left me the money once I got back, but he sent me on a journey that was just, you should not have done that.
Making an emotional damage.
Me and some friends of mine that I don't know where they are right now.
They're probably in a tavern somewhere waiting for a DM. So as he sits there and he realizes that there's not a whole lot he can do in this particular situation, he goes, Okay. I